Well, happy day. I hope you are doing good. I just finished a study with some friends of mine in my community, and there are some good things that we discussed, and I want to share some of that with you if you don't mind. We did a reading from the Gospel of John, and I showed this because I have the whole set of the Bible printed out in like a journaling fashion. I got this a couple years ago, and this has been really helpful to kind of take the books one at a time. I've read through John a couple times already, but I have all the books here, and that might be something to consider if you're wanting to do some more prayerful or even intentional study of the Bible. Consider getting a journaling Bible. I've had Bibles where it's literally just the whole Bible is journaled and it's just in one book. I also have all of these, and you get the individual books, and you can journal as you read, which is awesome. So the reading for today is John chapter 1, verses 19 through 28. And I'll just go ahead and read through this, and I'm going to try to read it slowly. And I hope that you can be prayerful as you're listening to this and as we're discussing this together. So I'm reading through the ESV version, where John 1, verse 19 says, "And this is the testimony of John, when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, 'Who are you?' He confessed and did not deny, but confessed, 'I am not the Christ.' And they asked him, 'What then? Are you Elijah?' He said, 'I am not.' 'Are you the prophet?' And he answered, 'No.' So they said to him, 'Who are you?' 'We need to give an answer to those who sent us. What do you say about yourself?' He said, 'I am the voice of one crying out in the wilderness, make straight the way of the Lord,' as the prophet Isaiah said." Now they had been sent from the Pharisees. They asked him, "Then why are you baptizing, if you are neither the Christ, nor Elijah, nor the prophet?" John answered them, "I baptize with water, but among you stands one you do not know, even he who comes after me, the straps of whose sandal I am not worthy to untie." These things took place in Bethany across the Jordan, where John was baptizing. So we're reading about John the Baptist, who was the cousin of Jesus, and he is starting his ministry and he is baptizing people, and people are curious about what's going on because he is not acting normal. He is not conforming to the religious norms of his time and in this scenario. So some Jews and some priests and some Levites are sent to ask some questions about John and what he's doing and who he is. And I think the way that he responds is interesting, right? I'm especially drawn to verse 22, where the Jews ask John, "Who do you say, or what do you say about yourself?" And I think this question is so important. Obviously, John takes like a humble approach, and he is recognizing that Jesus, the Messiah, is greater than him and what he can offer the world or offer his particular context, and there is a beauty there. But I'm thinking about that question from my own life, like, what do you say about yourself, Wesley? What do I say about myself? And I think I often struggle with, sometimes in some ways, speaking too highly of myself, and also sometimes in some ways speaking too lowly of myself. And I can do this at the same time in my life, because there's some things in my life that I speak too highly of myself on, and there's some things in my life that I speak too lowly of myself on. Let me give you an example. I think I'm a pretty good writer. I think I'm a pretty good rapper. I've been making hip hop since I was 12. I think I'm pretty good at making music, but I've often downplayed that. I think I've often haven't been as honest about my ability there, or even maybe it's not as confident in my ability because of the places I've been where maybe hip hop or writing or what I'm trying to offer is not valued as highly. So then I downplay it, and I I'm not as honest with myself about what I think about my creative ability. But also, in some ways in my life, I can be arrogant, especially when it comes to what I know, especially when it comes to Bible knowledge and knowledge about Christianity and the faith. Because this is what I do for a living. I spend a lot of my time studying and reading and engaging and writing. And so it's easy for me to be inflated when I'm talking to someone that does not have the training that I have, that does not have the experience that I have with the Bible and on all of these things. So it's easy for me to think too highly of myself when it comes to what I know about God, about faith, about Jesus. When in reality, the level or the playing field is completely leveled. Like someone can have, this is a crazy thing because we see this often in scripture. Jesus has many parables about this. Like someone can have 30 years of religious training and someone can have 3 hours right of an experience with God, and it could be the same. That's so crazy to me. Like God is not a respecter of persons, and this doesn't mean that my work is invalid or unnecessary, because I think my work is still necessary. It's necessary for me and my development. It's necessary for the people that I love, and so there's always going to be a merit in study, I think. But it's just in the way that we're approaching this study and addressing study in our life. So that's one of the ways that I can downplay myself, and I can downplay, the gifts that God has given me. I can downplay it in my creative ability and how I'm writing, but also I can inflate it in my arrogance and what I know. So I'm sure there's things about you in your life that you can think about, things that maybe you haven't been honest about who you are, or the things that you have said about yourself has not been an accurate depiction of reality. And I love John the Baptist and his approach and his humility. John is recognizing that it is his responsibility to usher in the Messiah, to usher in Jesus. He's recognizing that what he has to offer is insignificant, or not insignificant, maybe not insignificant, that's not the right word, maybe insufficient. Like John is still important. John, his role is still crucial, but it's not as important as Jesus. Does that make sense? And I don't know. Even I struggle with saying that, because I think, who's to say that John's role is? I know Jesus plays a big part. He plays a bigger part, right? But who's to say that John's role is not as important, right, or not as big, right? I think all of these things play a part, and I think when we embrace that reality that everything is grace, that everything belongs, Jesus becomes beautiful, but also John the Baptist becomes beautiful, and maybe even Judas becomes beautiful in some ways. And I know I'm getting into some weird spaces, and it's kind of hard to parse out some of the beauty there, but it's true. I think all of these things play a role in our reality. My weaknesses and my strengths play a role. I'm tempted to address my weaknesses and even eradicate my weaknesses. But when I'm learning that no, it's just about being aware of my weaknesses. It's not that I'm getting rid of them, because I think my weaknesses make up my strengths and they support my strengths. And I think all of this is important, but I think it's important for me to be aware of my weaknesses. That way I know how to navigate in my relationships. That's how I know how to navigate in my my career, my hobbies. Like if I'm aware of my weaknesses and my strengths, I think I have a better picture of who I am. And I've been tempted in the past to downplay my weaknesses, to try to eradicate my weaknesses when I'm learning that I'm not broken. I'm not broken. I'm exactly where I need to be, and what I need is awareness. And Christ has come to give me awareness. Christ has come to give you awareness, to have me in a place where I can answer that question more accurately. When someone says, "What do you say about yourself?" And maybe I can say things that are more healthy. and more life-giving and more honest and truthful, right? Mm. So these are just some thoughts I have reflecting on this. I didn't get to cover all these verses, but this is what I was drawn to as I read this. I'm drawn to that question, and I'm drawn to John the Baptist and his humility and his awareness. I think we all need that. We need this awareness. We need the awareness of, we need self awareness. We need to know who we are. We need to know our limitations. We need to know what we're about. And I'm grateful that John the Baptist gives us a great example of some things we can consider as we're wrestling with all the questions that we have of life. All right. Well, that'll be all for today. Just want to get on here real quick to share this with you. Isn't this beautiful? John, the Gospel of John has been my favorite gospel for a long time. But I don't know, my heart's opening a little bit, and so I'm like, is anything my favorite? Isn't it all amazing, right? So this is what's going on in my reality. Like all of Scripture is becoming more and more beautiful. Even books like Leviticus, because I've heard it often said that that is the gospel. Like you can read the gospel, you can read Leviticus, and you can put in front of Leviticus the gospel according to Leviticus, right? Because there is some gospel truths in there and some beautiful truths in that book. Further, I'm just excited to get into this with you. This is the book of Proverbs, and I got this for Christmas for my in-laws. I love this so much. Ooh, yeah, I can't wait to open it up with you. And then I have the Psalms here, beautiful. Ooh, this is getting me so excited to read Scripture this year. So I'm excited to read Scripture, and I'm excited to meditate on Scripture with you. If you haven't already, please do me a big favor. Do me a big favor and check out my new EP. It's called I'm Sorry, Are You God? It's on all streaming platforms. Check it out. If you like it, awesome. If you don't like it, even more awesome. Let me know what you think. I would love to have conversations about what I'm saying and what I'm creating, because I have a desire to create and I have a desire to share. And I want to know how what I'm sharing and what I'm thinking is affecting the people that are in my life. So let me know what you think. Thank you for watching this video all the way to this point. And I pray God's blessings on your day. I pray God's blessings on your life. May love, may joy, may peace guide you, lead you, carry you, transform you, and bless you.